McFarland, go ahead, Kimberly.
That's glowing. That's the.
He's been glowing all preseason.
I mean, it's very tepid. That feels very lukewarm water. Like, if that is the idea of glowing to me, I don't know.
Well,
I don't love it.
You don't love it? Can he fix him? Can he fix Russell
I don't know.
Wilson?
I am not Socrates. I am not Nostradamus. I do not know if this man can fix Russell Wilson. I think he is charged with fixing the Denver Broncos offense and fixing Russell within that. Can the Broncos be a playoff team under Sean Payton? 1,000% within the life of his contract, yes, they can. Will Russell Wilson be the reason they win a playoff game? I do not know. I agree with Harry. It should not look any worse than it did last year. But keep in mind, Seattle was happy to get rid of Russell Wilson and go to Geno Smith. That is what I fall back on. We know Russell's history and what he's done as a Super Bowl champion and all that. But the team that drafted him said, you know what, we're good with Geno Smith. And they actually have been a lot better with Geno under center. So I don't know.
Booger, I was trying to go to you first. Kimberly, no, but it was fantastic.
Shocking.
Kmart Stradamus. But Booger, can Sean Payton get Russell Wilson back to a level that we did see in Seattle a couple of years ago?
Well, first of all, you did the right thing. Ladies always first. I have no problem ceding that to Kmart. Outstanding analysis there by her. As far as Sean Payton and Russell Wilson, if Russell will listen to Sean and Russell will follow what Sean says, Russell can become a better quarterback. I just don't know if Russell can do, innately, can he do the things that Sean Payton wants to do? And here's what I mean by that. The Sean Payton offense is all about rhythm and timing and getting the ball out. 1, 2, 3, ball out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, ball out. Russell has never really played that way. Russell's best plays have been drop back, the improv plays, throw the football deep down the field. He's been one of the better deep ball throwers in our league, and that's kind of been his game. Well, that's been anything but what Sean Payton has had. When you go back to New Orleans, Drew Brees, always a rhythm and timing quarterback. Even when Teddy Bridgewater and Jameis Winston and Taysom Hill, when they all came in, Sean Payton had success with any quarterback because that quarterback understood what Sean wanted from an offensive standpoint. Will Russell allow himself to be coached? Will he allow himself to listen? The reason he's no longer in Seattle, because it became too much about Russell. It became too much about Russell's entourage around the facility and Russell's office and what Russell wanted. That's why Seattle moved on, man. There's no one person bigger than the organization and bigger than the team. And when Geno came in there, you saw a breath of fresh air. Like the receivers started smiling. Nobody said we miss Russell in Seattle. And there was a reason that was. Now, can Russell go to Denver after having a bad year and allow Sean Payton to bring him back to the Hall of Fame quarterback that we once saw in Seattle? I don't know, but I can't wait to watch that.
That's the thing, because
fantastic perspective there, though. That was fantastic.
Yes. It's so crazy in Denver right now, and the contrasting styles between Sean Payton and Russell Wilson and what he's been able to the style to play his entire career. I can't sit up here and say I know. I don't know.
And you know what?
All of us are saying that. We
might
don't
know in the first 6 weeks because that schedule.
And that's what I got it. The first 6
tough.
weeks.
It certainly does.
Alan, Matt LaFleur says he likes everything that he's seen so far from Jordan Love. That's how he is in the meeting room, how he is in the huddle, how he is at the line of scrimmage, and what he's done in practice in the preseason games. But the reality is that he doesn't exactly know what's going to happen. I had a chance to talk to Matt LaFleur last night for a couple of stories I'm working on for .com, and I said, do you know what Jordan Love is good at yet? And he said, well, I think we're going to find out, and he had a big smile on his face. And he said the reality is we play the same defense every day in practice. You know what works against them. You don't know what's going to work when it comes live week 1 and beyond. I also asked Jordan Love yesterday what's the best thing that he's gotten out of this summer, and he simply said reps. He just needed to play.
And that has been the story with him, obviously, behind Aaron Rodgers. So, but how is Jordan Love now approaching being the man who replaces the man?
He's embraced it, really, Alan, probably more so than even Rodgers did when he replaced Favre 15 years ago. And that starts right away in week 1. We all know Rodgers' record against the Bears. That's who the Packers open with in Soldier Field. Jordan Love's first start as the full-time starter will be in Chicago. We know that Rodgers, quote, owns the Bears, right? He told them that. He was 24-5 in his career as a starter against the Bears. And Jordan Love even has embraced that. He said, look, Aaron Rodgers and Brett Favre have had tons of success against the Bears, and I know that I have to continue that. So he is not shying away from the task at hand, Alan.
Yeah, the ownership of Chicago is very important in Green Bay. Let's bring in the rest of our crew as we discuss the Packers a little more. Kimberley Martin, do you see the Packers as a playoff team?
I think they have a good chance of making the playoffs. I think the Lions will win the division, but I think Jordan Love, we've seen promise in the preseason, but we still haven't seen it in a regular season game when the games count. That's the only thing that makes me say, okay, let's hold back on just like saying the Packers totally have their answer at quarterback. But I think this is a very good team. They have a strong running game. Clearly, they want to upgrade their running game too with their Jonathan Taylor interest. And they've got a defense. To me, the key, though, is their defense. This is a unit, a lot of first-round picks, but they've underperformed. And those guys will tell you the same thing. So the defense actually has to be a lot better this year.
Yeah, that's the thing for me when it comes to the Green Bay Packers. Do they have the makeup of being a playoff team? Of course they do. But does the supporting cast of Jordan Love, does Jordan Love have to play well? Of course he does. Yeah. But does the supporting cast support him the way that, they didn't do Aaron Rodgers and company last season, right? The offensive line needs to remain healthy, and they have a solid one. The running backs need to rush the football effectively. They have two great ones in that, and A.J. Dillon and also Aaron Jones. But like Kmart just mentioned, that defense, you have eight first-round draft picks on that defense. That defense has to be able to play up to their capabilities and what they expect and what we all expect them to play like this season in 2023 and help out your young quarterback in Jordan Love.
Well, you keep talking about everything but, and so you mentioned at the end, it's Jordan Love. I mean, still a young quarterback who's stepping in now for this team, and this is a franchise that has gone 30 years with great quarterback play, Favre to Rodgers, and now, of course, it's Jordan Love. Can he be their next great quarterback? Does he have that kind of potential? Well,
I think we look at the Packers and say, well, as an organization, they're 2 for 2 on Hall of Famers. So they must know something about quarterbacks. But that's why I thought it's a terrible situation for Jordan Love to find himself in having to be the next guy in that line of quarterbacks. But it's also a great thing from the standpoint of, we talked about the roster. He's got help. He does not have to have an MVP type of season. He doesn't have to be Aaron Rodgers. Right now, the same expectations I think you would have of Justin Fields, and you would have of some of these other young quarterbacks. Just do your job, take care of the football, and when there are plays to be made, when you can air it out, take advantage.
You didn't say yes or no, though. That's the problem.
I think the one thing that we have to mention too, their head coach Matt LaFleur. It's also his job to continue to put Jordan Love in the proper situations so he can become successful as well.
Aaron Rodgers makes it a little bit easier.
Yes, he does.
Yeah. Well, let's go back to Rob Domofsky on this, because you've been there obviously every day covering this team. What are they saying about Jordan Love and his potential there? It's usually when you get that feel, you get the buzz from teammates about this guy. What are they saying?
Yeah, Alan, I think the important thing to remember is that this isn't just Jordan Love. That's not how they're looking at this. They don't think, hey, Jordan Love has to do everything that Aaron Rodgers did. Everyone's sort of in this together, and I would say this about this team. I don't know if it's as talented as some of the teams that Aaron Rodgers has, but this team has been as together as any team that I have seen in this locker room. Aaron Jones, for example, their star running back, was as big an Aaron Rodgers guy as there was, and I've seen him transition into being as supportive as anybody, maybe the most supportive player for Jordan Love in that locker room. And to me, that's a sign that this team has a pretty good vibe about it.
One of our best covering the teams. Thank you so much, Rob.
Thank you for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.